नमस्कारम।
नमस्कारम गुरुजी।
नमस्ते। ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So chant along with me. ओम पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे पुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयः प्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावः दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटम् नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्बोधनाबोधितम् लोके सज्जन षट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयाद् भारत पंकजं कलिमल प्रध्वंसिन श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः Okay, I'll unmute a couple of people. So Vijay Kunnaji, I've unmuted you. Sri Vidya, Sudhakaran. So assuming there is no noise there, and Prasad Kurijala, so I can get some feedback. Okay. So in the last class, we began to see the context in which the Bhagavad Gita appeared, how it came about, what was the background of the people involved, who are the people involved. So all that we saw. So now Arjuna finds himself. See, I was about to say Arjuna and Krishna. Then I stopped, I backed off and I said Arjuna found himself. Because the center of attraction is Arjuna. I relate to Arjuna. My problems are Arjuna's problems. Arjuna's problems are my problems. So Arjuna found himself in this battlefield, and he entered the battlefield. He was one flame of fury, and he said, "This is the time." And finally, the D-Day has come. You know, D-Day. So D-Day means what? And we all use this phrase D-Day. What is D-Day? D-Day is a military phrase they use. I think in the US it originated. And so the D doesn't stand for anything special other than day. The letter D also stands for day. And so D-Day means the day in which the big thing is going to happen. And define big, whatever big in your life, the D-Day is going to happen. D-Day is this. So master's thesis has to be defended on so-and-so date. That D-Day. And marriage is going to happen on so-and-so day, D-Day. So that D-Day has arrived. And they say D-Day, they say H hour, and then something. They may say M minute or something, I don't know. But D-Day and H hour, they say. So that D-Day has come for Arjuna. And D-Day expecting, no fear, is just waiting for this D-Day. And then he looks around and he looks at the Dhartarashtra army, because we don't want to say Kaurava army, thanks to the satsang question last week or last class. So the Dhartarashtras he looks at, and he sees, suddenly he sees relationships. He sees Bhishma, the commander-in-chief of the army. My God, the most dharmic person we ever knew, my grandfather. And And then he sees Drona, my guru, my acharya, Drona. Imagine killing Drona. Imagine killing one's own guru. And he looks around and he sees relatives, and he looks back at his own team and he sees friends and relatives. He sees dharmic kings, because only the dharmic people are siding him, Arjuna. Everybody else has gone on the other side. So all great kings in his team, in his army. And then he sees many other people he doesn't recognize, because many new recruits were there. New recruits. And Swamiji says, how do you know he's a new recruit? Because he hasn't even buttoned his shirt properly. And he didn't comb his hair also. And all these clumsy boots he's wearing. And he doesn't know how to walk properly on the field. How is he going to run and hold a rifle, not rifle, but hold a spear and all that? He doesn't know. He's going to become fodder. So he just looks at all this and the impending destruction that is going to happen, and then he becomes sad. He says, wait a minute, these are the people I want to live the rest of my life with, and I'm going to kill all these people and they're all going to die. This doesn't make sense. This is not the plan I had for life, for my life. Like this his thinking goes, and he becomes sad. So in their absence, my life will be a big zero. It will be a big void. It will be empty. This is his thinking. And with so many people, everybody is innocent here except for a few people. Everybody else is innocent. They did not cause this war. And so why should everybody die? Like this, his mind is working. So one way of interpreting this war is that this body is where all these thoughts occur. And this body is a result of dharma. Dharma means punyam. Punyam is what caused this body. And so this body is called Dharma Kshetra. Dharma Kshetra. The Kshetra, the field, the place, the locale where all this is happening in the mind. And so if this body is called Dharma Kshetra, then this mind, which is where all the conflicts happen, the mind which is in the body, that mind can be called Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra. Because all conflicts occur in the mind before they are manifesting outside. And my mind is the Kurukshetra, where all conflicts are played out. Initially, just seed just comes, and then later on, it just grows and grows and grows. So, conflict between Dharma and Adharma. So, this battle here is between Dharma and Adharma. It's very, very, very clear. Because Samadana, Veda, Danda, Danda has come after all Samadana and Veda. Nothing worked out. And normally both the Adharma is there on both sides in most wars. But this is a very unique war where only one side there is Adharma. Other side completely committed to Dharma. And so this Dharma and Adharma, the question is, this knowledge of Dharma and Adharma, is it universal or not? Can Duryodhana claim, I don't know what is right, I don't know what is wrong? Can he claim? This is the question. So we have to talk about where to address this, whether it is universal or not. And we say, of course, it is universal. If you look at an animal, And the monkeys are there. The monkeys jump from tree to tree, and they are leading a life. And monkeys have babies. And you carefully watch these baby monkeys, amazing. They are simply on the back of the mother monkey. They're simply holding on to the mother monkey. And the mother monkey is jumping from tree to tree. Now, look at this situation carefully. You don't see fear in the face of the baby monkey. It just knows to hold on, it holds on. And the mother monkey doesn't seem to be anxious that I have a baby behind me, therefore I must go slow or something. Nothing. You don't, if you observe, it doesn't look all very natural. And we take it for granted. And everything happens, everything moves along fine. Suppose, look at this. Suppose this baby monkey seems to know very well that when the mother goes about like this, I am not able to, I can't jump. Therefore, I must hold on to my mother. And it seems to know that if I don't hold on to the mother, I will fall down. And it seems to know that if I fall down, I will get hurt. And it seems to know that if I get hurt, or getting hurt is not good for me, it seems to know. And it seems to know that if I fall, I might die, and death is also not good for me. So much knowledge it has, this baby monkey. And just imagine if this knowledge was not given to the baby monkey. It doesn't know all these things. Then, some education, for want of education, these monkeys will just collapse. They'll just be falling down left and right, and everybody is confused, and the species will be destroyed in no time. Very clear that these monkeys have that knowledge. They say survival instinct on all these things. Fine. So instinct, it is there. Otherwise, there must be some coaching. The parents association must be there, and schools must be there. The monkey parents association, we have so many babies now. Now it's time to conduct a class on survival skills. Survival skills. And after some time, they all have to go to college. And so there is a big competition, these days. The monkey parents are saying, guys, when we studied, we didn't have so much competition. These days, it's not like that. And you have to study for college from your 10th grade onwards, 9th grade itself, and you must attend some coaching classes. Like this, all this education must be there. And we don't see all these things happening. Because that knowledge is universal. That knowledge to survive for this monkey, or for any other animal is universal. We saw the example of the tortoise. Tortoise seems to know how to survive. It seems to know how to swim. Everything is given to it. So that minimum knowledge, it may have to know more things later, what to eat, what not to eat, etc. Not everything is known. It is there in itself, but it has to experiment to some extent. But minimum knowledge to survive, it has. Monkey has. We will say that if that minimum knowledge is not there, we will say there is a defect in the creation, defect in the srishti. So without that minimum skills, one cannot survive in this world. And because the purpose of this life is to survive, that knowledge has to be given. Minimum knowledge. Now, what about the human being? So we know that the big difference between the human being and the animal is that there is the buddhi, there is the freedom of choice. Freedom of choice is there. Freedom to choose. So I have to choose from day one. I have to constantly keep on choosing. And then I get a job. Then I have to choose which job to take, and then which city to live, and then where to rent a house. All these things, should it be an apartment or a house, or should it be a flat in a big, multi-storied building? All these things I have to choose. The human being has to choose. And not just this urbanite, but village, living in a village, you have to choose. Some tribe, not tribe, some native people in Papua New Guinea or any other place, they also have to choose where to live, what to do, what to eat. Everything has to be chosen. So that choice now is there. And when it comes to dharma, of course, we talked about purusharthas, artha, kama, I pursue. But when I pursue artha and kama, I have to use dharma while making my choices. I have to be aware of dharma while making choices. Otherwise, any choice you make is your own personal preference. But sometimes choice have to be based on dharma itself. And I seek money. And it's good I seek money. Because, I'll be making Vishnu happy. And Swamiji says, you'll be making Vishnu happy. You know why? Because Vishnu becomes proud. Look, my wife, now everybody is worshipping her. And they go to Tirupati and just worship Padmavati. They go here. And they are giving so much money in Tirupati only to get more and more money. So the Vishnu is the happiest person. So go ahead, seek that money, seek that wealth. And so that seeking that artha is natural to us. Natural. Remember, that is Swabhava. I'm introducing a word called Swabhava. Natural to us. Even though some people give up, they have the capacity to give up, that still doesn't mean artha is not natural. Seeking artha, security, is natural. But that is not so for the monkeys. Monkeys also seek artha and kama. Artha, they need, the security is important to them also. But then their behavior is controlled by instinct. They don't have any dharma. Dharma is not there for them. Right, wrong. So you came to Coimbatore, you wanted to get the darshan of, this Murugan, Subramanya Swami, who is on the hill. And then you said, I'll come here. And by the way, since Jayakumarji is also there, we can do, two things in one. And so you go to the temple and you saw the darshan, you were very happy. And you came outside, you kept you were having prasad. And you had bananas, now you have so many things. And you are sitting, and it's at the top of the hill. So you can see the entire Coimbatore from this hill. And so you are from New York, you are from Mumbai. So your idea of city is very different. You come to Coimbatore and you see Coimbatore. And I said, my goodness, traffic in Hyderabad and Mumbai and all is nasty. And Coimbatore is a breeze. And you can see the entire city just from this hill. And so all this you get. And while you're thinking like this, suddenly you look around and the prasad is not there. Bananas are gone. Why? Because, monkeys are there. So our country is all very unique. We don't shoo away all these animals. We just live with animals. We live with cows. We live with horses. And we live with them. And we are not threatened by all these things. And so the monkeys are there. Generally, in so many temples, you'll find these monkeys. in some temples at least. And trees are there. So where there is vegetation and all, monkeys can be there. So monkeys took away. Now you can't complain to Jaykumarji, and you can't say, Jaykumarji, you should have cautioned me about all these monkeys. So many thieves are there, and you should have told me all this. Like this, you can't complain. You can't say the monkey is a thief. You can say at best that I have been careless. I should have been a little more careful. Like that you can say. And you can also say, hey, okay, fine. Hanumanji, Chiranjeevi is also there. And so I have forgotten Hanumanji. And so now Hanumanji came and reminded me that, think about me also. So like that you can say. That is because this monkey has no dharma. Monkey has no dharma. So Swabhava, instinct. But the human being doesn't behave based on instincts. Even though we have instincts, we don't govern, our life is not governed by instincts. It has to be governed by dharma. Very important difference. And this dharma, we can sometimes use the word common sense knowledge, common sense. We can't afford to go to schools or colleges to learn this. So that when I do certain things, it will hurt others. That when others people say certain things, I can get hurt. That I don't want to be deceived by anybody. That you don't want to be deceived by me. All this knowledge is very much available to us. Even if we did not, even for the most illiterate person, that person also will have that knowledge. This is what we say, that minimum knowledge is available to us. Otherwise, anarchy will be there. Anarchy. Because then people will hurt each other without knowing. Without knowing that, oh, I didn't know. The defendant, court case is going on. And there is the prosecutor and then there is the defendant. And the jury is listening to all these arguments. And the defendant is being questioned. Why did you do all these things? Where were you when this happened? So he says something. So why did you do all this? The defendant cannot say, I didn't know. I didn't know that the person will get hurt when I shot, when I pull the trigger. That statement is not valid defense. What will the judge do when this person says that? I didn't know. I didn't know that he will be hurt if I stole his wallet. Can somebody say this? Is this acceptable defense in a court of law? Not acceptable. Judge cannot accept that. Because this knowledge is universal. Nobody can claim ignorance of this knowledge. Duryodhana cannot say, I'm ignorant of certain things. You please teach me. He can't say that. So otherwise, this creation would be defective. I can still hurt people. I can transgress dharma. Like that, Duryodhana does that and then causes harm to others. But Duryodhana cannot claim ignorance to this dharma. So that Duryodhana also knows what dharma is. So Janami, that is why in Mahabharata he says, there is a statement, Janami dharmam nachame pravritti. I know what dharma is. He says, Duryodhana says that. Nachame pravritti, but I am unable to keep to dharma. I am unable to do the right thing. Janami adharmam, he says. I know what adharma is. I know what is not to be done. Nachame nivrittihi. I cannot keep myself from doing the wrong things. Is what he says. So that knowledge clearly, it's universal. Nobody can claim ignorance to that kind of knowledge. So the child also will pick up slowly. Human child, I mean, will pick up slowly. May not, if we think there's a doubt that the child doesn't know it, it will come to know slowly. And as it begins moving and all that, and it begins interacting with the parents, mother says, no, no. So no means, and then this particular way of looking also changes, and the tone changes, and the child understands, okay, this is something I must be a little careful about. I must watch what I'm doing. Or I must do it when mother doesn't see me. So this idea child gets. And then encouragement. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Great. Arey, shabash beta, shabash beta. So come on, come on, come on. Aao, aao. Ra. So then the encouragement. So the child understands what can be done, what should not be done. On means encourage, do. No, opposite, N-O-O-N. So N-O means stop, don't do it. Be careful. Something will happen. You may fall down. I will get angry. So this kind of stuff. And so this dharma, sometimes we can say common sense. Dharma has to be commonly sensed. That is why we have to be careful using this word common sense also. Sometimes we say, that person doesn't have any common sense. That seems like a wrong statement. You know why? Because what is common sense? Common sense is that sense which is commonly available to everybody. That is, what is the definition of common sense? But now if you say he doesn't have common sense, means what? That means that sense you are talking about is not commonly available. And if this person doesn't have it, that person also need not have it. So it's not common sense. Better to say, okay, he doesn't have enough sense. Like that it's a better statement, I think. And so this common sense, sometimes also called moral order. Moral order means right, wrong. And the sense of what, the golden rule, sometimes they say in the West, golden rule. Golden rule means I know what will hurt you and I desist from doing that. Because I know what hurts me, and the same thing I know will hurt you also. And therefore, that knowledge is the golden rule. So this whole list of values of not hurting, ahimsa, and not targeting somebody, not being angry at people, not being deceived, not being cheated. I know that I don't want to be cheated, and also the the vendor knows I don't want to be cheated. So this knowledge is there. This knowledge is there. And Duryodhana also had this knowledge. Okay, so basic, very basic. Now, values. So this is a discussion on values. And there are individual values. Means something that is very personal to me based on my own personal likes and dislikes. And all of us have some individual ways, values. And based on certain situations, I prefer tea to coffee because some reason I will give. And it's a personal like. Or I might say I will avoid coffee and tea. It's a value for some reason. But those are all personal values, not universal values. Because others don't share my same view on these things. So these personal values in Western society, these personal values are highly encouraged. From the time the child grows up, the child will be asked, what do you want? Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want butter? Do you want jam in the toast? Do you want bread to be toasted, not toasted? Like this, it goes on. And then you go to the sandwich store. My favorite is this Subway sandwich. There is a restaurant called Subway. These days I see it here also in India. And there you go and you can't say, please give me a sandwich. And it's a stupid statement. Because first of all, it's a sandwich place. You only will get sandwiches. Okay. And so you have to be a little more specific. So you go there and stand. I've not visited this Subway here in Chennai or anything. I should go and see how it is. And but in the US, I remember. So you go there. It's a line of items. Everybody stands in a line, and you stand first. You stand here. You stand right in front of this bread. The main part of the sandwich. The bread is there. And what about the bread? And then now I have to make some decisions. I can't say, please, I can't move on because he's expecting you to say something. Because you have to say, the list is there right in front of me. The list of breads available is there. Do you want white bread? Do you want wheat bread? Do you want multigrain bread? Do you want oatmeal bread? Do you want this Italian bread? Do you want this Italian cheese bread? Like this, the list goes on and on and on. So I have to choose right there. I have to choose. I can't tell him, you please give me anything you want. That is not acceptable. This guy will get confused if you say that. And in America and all, they won't do it. Because then I can sue, And then you gave me this, I can say. And so they won't. They'll be polite. No, sir, you're paying for it. So you please choose. It's your choice. So then I have to go here. Then again, choice. Do you want butter? Do you want cheese? Do you want this? Do you want that? Mayonnaise? Like this big list is there. Then you move to the next. And there is another person standing there. So there you have to say a few more things. Like many animals are there. And which animal do you want? So you have to make a choice. And then for me, it's very easy. So I just move on from there. And I said, no thanks. So then move on to the next. Then vegetables. Here also, being an Indian and all, you can't say, please give me vegetables. And please give me vegetables means what? What vegetables do you want? There is a big array of, literally it's an array. And so you have to say, I want tomatoes, I want lettuce, I don't want green pepper, I want carrots, I want spinach. No, I don't want this, what do you call this? They have some banana pepper. I don't want this, I want, do you want salt and pepper? Yeah, little bit of salt and pepper. What else? Like this, do you want vinegar? No, I don't want vinegar. Do you want mustard? Because it's all there, you have to say something. If you don't say, he will ask you. So until the time you pay the amount, paying also, do you cash, card, choice, constantly choice. By that time, within 5 minutes, look at how many decisions you have made, how you have exercised your choice. Just hardly 5 minutes. And this is the culture of choice. In India, you come to a restaurant and you can't, you're coming from America and you want to visit Coimbatore and we all go to a restaurant and you come there we go to Ananda's and it's a nice, Southern Indian restaurant, nice quality. You can't say, idli, give me some idli, give me some pudina chutney and then give me some jaggery gur uske saath. All this you can't say. You just say, give me a plate of idli. And it will come along with sambar, it will come with chutney, it will come, everything comes. And thali. So our Indian culture is a thali culture. It's all given to you. Of course, these days, do you want tea or coffee? They will say. And do you want sugar in it? And like that, they will ask. But I had an experience. First time from India, you go to US and they ask you all these questions, confusing questions. Do you want tea or coffee? Okay, that's a reasonable question. That can be handled. Then do you want half and half? Do you want cream with it? And what? Do you want cream? Creamer? What is creamer? And do you want sugar with it? Yeah, of course I want sugar with it. And we don't drink coffee without sugar. So all this is a shock. I don't know what kind of shock it is called, but it's a shock caused by choices, and too many choices, too many decisions to make. So you enter the flight, and then they ask you all these questions, and hey, give me some coffee. All I want is coffee. So this is choice. So those are all individual preferences, individual values. Then there are some cultural values which are also unique to people and cultures. So if you come to India, there is a particular value. You have, people leave their shoes, leave their slippers outside the house. It's a very specific cultural value. It is not shared by every society all over the world. And wearing this bottu, etc., it's a cultural value. Not shared by people all over the world, not universal. But so we are talking about universal values. I don't want to be robbed. You go anybody, knock on anybody's door, anywhere in the world. Do you want to get robbed? Answer is simple. You will ask, why are you asking me this question? You went to New York because, you made some lot of money in India, and now is the time to spend it. And the family went to New York. And what did you hear about New York? I heard about all these people get mugged, it seems, in New York, and so you don't say, I wish I can get mugged here. Nobody says that. Because why not go to New York and say, I got mugged in New York? It would be a good story to tell your friends, no? And no, doesn't work. Nobody wants to get robbed, cheated, deceived, nothing. So that universality is very clear to us. And that is also what we call dharma. That is also, we can say, common sense, common dharma. But then when it comes to money, is money a universal value? If you ask, then we have to scratch our heads. We all know the value of money. Every child knows the value of money. The child goes to the store and picks up something and walks away, and the mom has to stop the child. Wait a minute. Go, leave it back. Leave it there. What? I wanted. What? Not now. And then sometimes mother says, okay, and then she pays the money for it. And then the transaction happens, the child realizes, oh, this particular bill, this piece of paper, which is very different from the piece of paper that I write on in school, that piece of paper is an important piece of paper. It seems to get me things. Chocolate, I had to produce this piece of paper. This particular tricycle, I have to produce this piece of paper. That pen, I have to produce this piece of paper. So from the childhood, the value of money is very clear to me. What it can do, what money can do, nothing else can do. Also very clear to me. But then the value for money, is it universal or not? So if that value is there, then nobody will give up that money. People will just go after the money. The more the merrier. More and more I want. Why not? If it's valuable, I must have more of it. Why not? No. So there are people who also appreciate the value of money, but who are willing to give up the hard-earned money, who are willing to let go. So power, fame, all these things come in that same category, which is not universal. These are not universally sought after. Okay. Now, so values, we have these universal values, dharma. So absence of hurting, ahimsa, etc., universal value. Even though they are universal, these values are not absolute. These values are not absolute. We need to make a note of this. Means what? When I go to the hospital and they do a bunch of tests, the doctor says you must get these blood tests done. And then what happens? I go to the lab, I extend my hand, and then there she comes and she pokes a big needle into my body. Hey, what are you doing? You're hurting me. Don't you know that I will get hurt if you do this? This kind of dialogue doesn't happen. Do you want me to poke a needle in your body? Why are you doing this to me? This kind of dialogue doesn't happen, because even though the value is there for not hurting, why am I being hurt now? In fact, I am allowing myself to be hurt. That means that value is being interpreted here. Keyword here is interpretation. Interpreted. Hey, I am willing to be hurt so that a bigger hurt can be minimized. Because I have this particular, I have this temperature for the last 3-4 days, and I'm not happy about that. And in order to find a solution to that, I'm willing to subject myself to these hurtful acts. And even the nurse doesn't think she is really hurting me. And of course, kind people that they will say, oh, just a fraction of a second. I know. They have to pacify, because that period is a little uncomfortable. And so, but then we don't accuse the person of hurting us. No patient accuses their nurse of hurting them, even though it looks like the nurses are doing things that are constantly piercing us, pinching us. They do this echo and all these things, and they come and put all these vacuum suction cups on us, and it's not pleasant. So therefore we understand that the value is not absolute, and the value is constantly interpreted. So even the relationship between parent and children, and sometimes they are harsh, the parents are harsh, knowing full well that there is something bigger to accomplish. The child doesn't know that. The child always says, Mom, I hate this stuff. I hate this. And I have some bendi, this, I say lady's finger, okra. And my mother used to say, it's good for your brain. It'll increase your thinking capacity. They have all these creative ways of making us eat all these foods. And I don't know if that is true or not. Some doctor should tell us if this okra really improves our ability to think. Somebody has to say, I need to look into that. Because in my mind it is still there. And if I had a child at home, I would do the same thing. Hey, Savd, Buddhi, Buddhi Vanama, do you want to do well in school? Yeah, I want to do well. Then you have to have this building. and the child is suddenly put in a spot. You can't say no, and it will try to find some other reason to wriggle out of this. And so these values are not absolute. They have to be interpreted, constantly interpreted. And so we are all doing it every day in our lives, whether I should do it or not. And you talk to somebody, and the doctor has to communicate that this person has a block in the heart, and he has to, and this person has to take care of himself, and the doctor has to does a lot of tests and surgeries happened, everything, and then the doctor comes to a point where the doctor finds that the news is not good, maybe terminal illness, whatever, and harsh news. The doctor can't say, oh, he will get upset if I say this, therefore I won't say it. No, the doctor has to interpret. Yeah, there is hurt involved, there is some unpleasantry involved, but better to say it. You're doing more disservice to the patient by not communicating it. That is the thinking the doctor should have. So interpretation, dharma is there constantly interpreted. We do that all the time. Should I do this or not do this? Okay, should I say it to my friend, or is there a better way to say it? Is there a different way to say it? Should I postpone it by a few days? All these questions, because of this interpretation. We are constantly interpreting. And so the Shastram, the Taittiriya Upanishad also says that very beautifully, Satyanna Pramaditavyam. Na Pramaditavyam means, may you not be indifferent. May you not be indifferent to Satyam, this value of Satyam. So be truthful in your speech, in what you say. Then Dharmanna Pramaditavyam. Then it extends the Satyam to Dharma. Dharma covers all, the entire gamut of activities. And Dharmanna Pramaditavyam, be careful, don't do things just because you like to do it. Do things because they have to be done. And do it the right way. Dharmanna Pramaditavyam. Then what? Next sentence. Kushalanna Pramaditavyam. Kushalam. Shastram, the Upanishad uses this word, Kushalam. My God. And what is this Kushalam? Kushalam means what? It says Dharma is not black and white. It is not black and white. And therefore, you must have the capacity to interpret. If you don't know how to interpret, ask somebody, what should I do? In this sticky situation, what should I do? You have to ask. So Dharma has to be interpreted. So at least the knowledge that I must do the right thing is there. And there are certain sticky situations where may not be very clear. Then we consult our elders, etc. to find out what is the right thing to do. So Duryodhana definitely knew. Duryodhana knew all these things. We saw that. So, Janami Dharmam Nachame Pravritti. He knows very well. But he was blind to the legitimacy or illegitimacy of his actions. Completely blind, chose to ignore for whatever reason. Pressure, maybe if you psychologically, we may find some answers. But he was blind. And so now the question of mature, if we say a person is mature, inner maturity, not physical maturity. What is that inner maturity? Inner maturity we can now define as my understanding of these laws called as dharma, LAWS called dharma. My understanding and my ability to interpret these laws properly based on context, based on situation, based on who I am dealing with, children or old people or what. And then using that knowledge to pursue my artha and kama and choosing my means. If I choose my means based on dharma, then I can be called a relatively mature person. This is where maturity can come. Now, so the child is there. The child is asking the parents. Parents constantly say, you should not lie. You should not do this. You should not do that. Don't copy in your exam. Don't copy in your exam. Now, what an advice to give. And the child will say, no, everybody else is copying. Why should I not copy? This argument goes. What will you say? No, not copying it's not correct. It's not correct. And then you stop with that. But it really doesn't answer the question. Why should I not copy? The child has not been told properly yet. It's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. That's all you've been told. But why it's wrong is not being told. So the child grows up and now teenager and getting to doing some, has to work, struggling to find a job. And father has always told him, don't do this, don't do that, do this, do that. And the child is asking the question, what a minute, what are you doing, Dad? Look at all your friends. You say they're all sitting in big bungalows and they're making so much money and over the table, under the table. And you're saying, such bolo and all that. And what are you talking? What did you get out of all this? You're living in a small place. We need another 3 more bedrooms in this house. And what kind of life is this? Like this argument goes. And whenever the son comes up with something, I want to do this. I want to do this day trading. And I'm good at trading. Then father says, no, be careful. Do trading properly. Don't be unethical. Don't. So he says, no, why should I not do it? I can make a quick buck. I know the value of money. No. Then the father says, no, you will get caught. You'll get caught. That's why you should not do it. And the mother looks at the father, the wife looks at the father and says, my goodness, what an answer to give. Because you get caught, you don't do this? Is that the reason for not doing something? So she's thinking, my goodness, how am I going to teach this 50-year-old child? This other child I can take care of. This guy, 50-year-old child is sitting in my house and I'm married to him also. And I am supposed to teach him. How am I going to do this? This is what she's worried about. So then, because otherwise the argument will go, you will get caught. That's why you should not do. No, it's okay. I will do it so I won't get caught. This is argument because the proper reason is not given. No. Then what will happen if I get caught? You lose your credibility. Lose your credibility. What happens if I lose my credibility? Anyway, in this house, I don't have any credibility. So what if few other people also? What is the big deal? And then some answer has to be given. Then the banks will not give you loans to buy a house. Some reason father has to give. And then the son will say, no, that's why I'm, once in a while I steal credit cards, So like that, the son will say, this argument will not end anywhere. So what reason will the parent give to this child? Dharma, this is a constant battle every parent has with the child. And so this compromise, moral order and all is there. And we will see this, how the conflict is created in the mind. And what happens when I make a wrong choice? When I do and when I act in a way that is not in keeping with dharma, what happens? That we will see in the next class. Om swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhamastu nityam lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu kale varshatu parjanyah पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः. All of you can also chant along with me and keep that a list of shlokas handy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Om purnamadah purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om